Hi, welcome to episode 209 of The Corner of Knit and Tea. My name is Laura. I'm also known as Fluffy K on Ravelry, Fluffy Kira on Instagram and Twitter. I blog over at thecornerofknitandtea.com, and that's where this episode and every episode show notes will be. I have an Etsy shop called The Corner of Knit and Tea where I sell my handspun yarns, and we have a Ravelry group called The Corner of Knit and Tea. Hi, how are you? Welcome to episode 209. If you noticed last time, I completely whiffed on my numbers. And also last time, thank you for those of you who notified me that the episode did not upload correctly. I have no idea what happened there, and it took me forever to get it resolved and get the second version uploaded. So I am sorry for those of you that it wasn't ready to go like it normally is. I really have no idea what happened. I uploaded it all in one go the first time, hit publish, went to bed, came back the next morning, found out that it only uploaded 9 minutes of it, cut off mid-story, went to go upload it again, took 2 hours to upload it for YouTube to then tell me that they couldn't upload it because a version of that already existed. So then I had to delete everything and start over again, and so it basically took me till Monday night to get it up, and I'm really sorry, but I appreciate all of those of you who A, took the time to tell me about it, and B, then went back and watched. So it was a long one, kind of a recap from having been away. This week's will not be quite so long, nor so varied, and I don't have quite as much content to show you, but that's okay, we'll muddle through somehow. So I hope that you have had a lovely week. This week I got caught up on everything, I think, sort of, kind of. I mean, I guess I'm never really all caught up, but I got caught up on work and being back, and the week was fairly nice. My schedule changed around a little bit. I went out on Wednesday. My old job hired someone to replace me, and so I have been helping out a little bit there with training. I only have 2 more sessions to go this week and next week, and then I am completely done, which will be nice. It'll be a little bittersweet to finally truly be gone, but it will also be kind of nice to start the new year out on new footing. So that's kind of what I've been doing during my weekdays along with the new job, which is going very well. I'm actually going to get to travel in January. I'm going to the Creativation Conference in Phoenix, Arizona, and I have some other travels coming up, which I'll talk about on another podcast probably. And so yeah, everything is going really, really well. Yesterday I had a really nice day. I'll tell you what I did in the morning in the knitting section because I'll show you. But then in the afternoon, a friend of mine did a trunk show at our brand new local yarn store. We had a new local yarn store open up just 2 weekends ago, and they carry some beautiful yarns. They carry some indie dyers from around here, like Treasure Goddess, that's my friend Christine, and then they also carry Potions yarn, and I can't remember why can't I remember what her name is? She's super cute. She is a hairdresser and a hair dyer, and she also dyes fiber, and she dyes the most beautiful, vibrant colors. But they also have things like Neighborhood Fiber Company, Primrose, Lichen and Lace. I'm trying to think of other things that they had there yesterday. Just a huge selection. Really, really beautiful shop. A little on the small side real estate wise, but they do have, it's basically 2 rooms, and one room is just lined with yarns all the way back. And it is beautiful, and then the next room is like a little area with a couch and some tables and some chairs, so that you can sit and knit. And it was very busy yesterday because of the trunk show, but basically Christine is one of the people who Treasure Goddess yarns. I have used her yarns before. I used her yarns, I've used her lace a couple times, and I used her, it was kind of a plummy purple yarn to knit Roxy's sweater this year. She is in my kind of Wednesday night knit group, a group of people who I've been knitting with probably for the past 10 years. And so we all kind of rallied and went out to support her yesterday. And so we went to the yarn store for an hour or 2, and then afterwards we went and had lunch. There's a Whole Foods not too far from the yarn store, and so it was great because we sat in the bar and we could either order from the bar or everybody could go out and find what they wanted. And it was just a lovely afternoon. We just sat and talked and knitted until like 4 o'clock, and then I came home. We made a pizza for dinner, just threw it in the oven. So it was a super quiet day yesterday, which was just lovely. Today has been a little crazy in a different way. I got up and did some work, some inky things with my fountain pens and inks. And then we went out to lunch, and then we went out Christmas gift shopping for my husband's and, well, it's my husband's and my niece, but she's on Wes's side of the family. And she's 20 and just moved into her first apartment and asked for cozy things for her apartment. And so my husband had some ideas about what we were going to do, and I sort of tried to steer him clear, but anyway. And then we went to the game store and we bought some new board games to play over the Christmas holidays. And then we went to Target, and then we went to the market, and it's now like 4 o'clock, and we just got home, and I have laundry to do, and I'm supposed to clean. I want to vacuum the house and then put up the Christmas tree today, so I still have tons to do, but I definitely needed to come talk to you. And I know the light is a little strange. It's like a little after 4. The sun's going down because it's winter, so I've got my light on. So let's just do this. This week I am drinking Stash Tea Licorice Spice, and I ordered a big, huge box of Stash individual tea bags a while ago so that I could put them in packages. When you buy yarns from me, or if you win podcast prizes, I always put notes and tea bags in there. Anyway, I bought a ton of Stash Tea a while ago, and I am basically down to the bottom of the box. And at the bottom of the box, there was a package of licorice spice. And I know that that is not everyone's taste, so it's not something I would probably put in packages, but I really like licorice tea, so I'm hoping this will be good. This is my first time trying this today, and I am drinking it in my tea time mug, which is not exactly what it says, but we'll keep this a G-ish rated channel, at least in terms of actual words used in the podcast. And so I'm having my licorice tea in my mug today. Oh, that's nice. It is a little spicy. I like it. It says it's got licorice root, cinnamon, orange peel, Chinese star anise, vanilla flavor, sarsaparilla, excellent, orange oil, cinnamon flavor, clove bud oil, and cardamom oil. So I'm sure I'm getting some of the cinnamon too, but that is delicious. So let's talk about the knits. The first thing that I did yesterday morning is I got up super early so I could felt those slippers that I knit for Wes. If you remember, I knit slippers out of Briggs & Little Heritage for the Briggs & Little Knit Along. I picked a slightly different pattern, and I don't remember whether I said it on the podcast. I kind of think I did. So I knew that Briggs & Little was doing a holiday knit along, and I wanted a chance to try some of their yarns. So I ordered some yarns to make a pair of slippers for Wes. After I ordered it, I stated my intentions in their holiday knit along thread, and somebody said to me, I've heard that yarn doesn't felt. So Briggs & Little Heritage is 100% wool, and it is a rustic wool. It's certainly not for the faint of heart. I would not wear it up against my skin. Wes always wears socks in his slippers, so it wasn't going to be too big a deal. So then I read a few other people's comments on the yarn, and they said, well, it does felt, but it takes some effort. So I got up super early yesterday to go to the local laundromat because I have a top-loading washer now, and it does not have an agitator in it. So I have not had any luck felting in it, and so I just usually carry myself off to the laundromat when I need to felt. So I went with a whole stack of quarters and a couple hours in the morning because I wasn't due at the yarn shop opening until noon. And I put them through 4 wash cycles and then a part of a dry cycle. And they did snug up, but they didn't felt. So my slippers are enormous. Like, I could wear it as a hat. They're not going to fit my husband. As you can see, I started to get some felting, but you can still see the definition of the stitches. And last night and they're also like all, they've got all this fuzzy, like speckled cottony crap all over it because I washed it with a towel and a pair of jeans yesterday. So, and I didn't clean all of that off because they're still so enormous. My husband has size 10 feet. I knit these for the size 9 to 10. So the deal is, I am sure that it has actually shrunk a little bit. I did stick it in the dryer yesterday, and I'm pretty sure this has shrunk, but not in proportions that he could even begin to use it. If you saw my Instagram this morning, I took pictures. Both my feet fit in here. So, and this is both my hands in there. So they are enormous. They are not going to be slippers. I went on Amazon yesterday and I ordered my husband a pair of fancy boiled wool slippers for Christmas because I'm done fooling with these by the time I spent the money on the yarn and the time to knit them, and went to the laundromat, and the laundromat is not cheap these days. It cost me $2.25 per washing load and then $1.50 for the dryer. So I spent like almost $11 yesterday at the laundromat trying to fold these, and these are kind of disastrous. So Wes told me I should hang them by the chimney with care for Santa to fill them like a stocking. I had one friend who told me they'd make a really cute like doll bed or cocoon if you could just put your doll in there. I suggested oven mitts. I don't know what I'm gonna do with them. I'm probably just gonna throw them away, which is too bad. The yarn was nice. Like I said, it's super, super rustic. I would definitely use it for outerwear. And surprise, Brazen Little Heritage does not felt well. The one thing that I could do if I really wanted to is I could take it to a bucket and get a plunger, and I could do hot and cold, and I could try and felt them myself with enough agitation. But I think I'm over it. So this is a knit fail. That covers my weekend activities. The rest of my knitting will be delightful. So the first thing that I finished this week, well, okay, not delightful, but we'll have a chat. The first thing that I finished this week is I did finish my Rhinebeck sock. This is Nomadic Yarns in her Rhinebeck Sweater Weather colorway, and it's kind of a muted rainbow. It's the red, orange, yellow, and then as opposed to green, there's brown in there, and then blue and purple. And I went and looked at the green this week to, you know what, it might be olive green. To me, it looks brown, but it might be an olive green. I just can't tell. I'd have to go back and look at the listing. The only thing that you will notice is that these socks are a little bit big for my sock blockers. I kind of forgot what I was doing and started knitting 60 stitches on a US 1, which is actually really big for me. Usually I do my 56 on a US 1 and I only do 60 on a US 0. So they are a little bit big for me, but I think they'll just be cozy like house socks. I just won't wear them in my shoes where they'll like rub all the time. And what I did is to preserve the, so even though Fish Lips Kiss Heel is like my favorite in terms of actually knitting it because I have it memorized, I find that the heel doesn't really fit my foot that well. So I usually do the Fish Lips Kiss heel for the kid socks because they're so little, they don't have like a huge pronounced heel right now. So what I did is I knit the Afterthought heel. I just put in some waste yarn, and then afterwards I went back and knit an Afterthought heel. And because I like a little more room in my heel, I knit several rows around before I even started decreasing. Anyway, so my sock is a little big for my sock blockers, like I said, as you'll notice, but I put it on my foot and it is big, but it's not terrible. So I finished the first one. My plan is to finish the second one in time to do a Christmas Eve cast on sock. And I have that yarn already pulled out. I will show that to you next week. So this was the first goal for the week to finish, and I did that. So I'm really pleased with that. And it looks even better when I fold it up this way because then it doesn't look so big for the sock blocker. And it looks all nice and folds flat and stuff, and that is the nice thing about Afterthought heels. But I love this yarn. Ugh. Anyway, I will double check whether it's pink or green. It looks brown to me, or sorry, brown or green. It looks brown to me, but I suppose it could be a really dark olive. That would make more sense in the rainbow. Although brown is more of a fall color. I don't know. So yeah, so I haven't even cast on my second one. I'll probably cast that on tonight. So the second project I showed you last week was the Tally-Ho baby sweater that I was going to, sorry, dropped a bag, that I was going to test knit or review knit for a client of mine. I got about half of that done this week, which is fine. I thought I would get the whole thing done, but I ended up spending my time differently, which is fine. I knit the first half, and actually the ends are woven in on the first half. So this sweater is knit in pieces, and I did not follow the order of the pieces because I wanted to start assembling and see what it would look like. So I knit the back of the sweater, and then I knit one of the fronts of the sweater, and then I knit the sleeve of the sweater, the fun sleeve. So the other one is just, I can't remember whether it's plain pink or plain blue. It's plain pink. So it'll look like that. I have to say, this is working up incredibly fast. I think the reason that it's working up incredibly fast, it's also working up kind of big. The pattern is written in one size for a size 1-year-old. And I don't know whether I think this is going to fit a 1-year-old or bigger. I have no, you would think, because I have a niece and a nephew, I have a frame of reference for this, but I really don't. It looks a little bit big to me, but maybe that's just me. And it actually will be a pullover. The deal is you knit the 2 fronts separately, and then it's got kind of this intricate, like stitch that you use a crochet hook to do up the front, so it creates some visual interest on the front. So basically I have 1 more panel to do, 1 more sleeve to do, and then I'll do the the neck treatment, and then I will seam up the front. So by next time I should be able to show this to you. The yarn is a sport weight cotton, which I find lovely to work with. I cannot decide, however, if I like it in this pattern at this gauge. I am getting gauge, but I am using 6s and 7s, and usually I don't use 7s on sport weight, at least not for garments. It is making an incredibly drapey garment, but it's also making a fabric that is pretty sheer, as you can see. Now, I will wash this, and the cotton probably will bloom a little bit. But my other concern is that when I wash it, it's going to get all stretched out. So then I'm probably going to want to stick it in the dryer to tighten it up. And I can't remember if that's indicated on the... Cotton should be okay. I mean, even if it shrinks a little bit, it should be okay. And I won't... I'll probably wash in cool water and then just tumble dry on low in the dryer for a little bit to see if I can get it to... tighten up a bit, because I'm just afraid it's going to be huge. I do have a friend who's having a baby at the end of the month, and so this may go to her. She's having a little girl. Obviously, the baby wouldn't be able to wear the sweater till next year. If not, it will just go in a bin of, you know, handmade gifts. I don't have a ton of things in there, but every so often I make something and throw it in there, and I can just send it to the next baby. So again, this is the Tally Ho Baby Pullover from Appalachian Baby Knits. I'm enjoying working on it. Should finish it this week and show it to you next week. So, and just in case you want to see the Appalachian Baby, the yarn that I'm using is, it is Appalachian Baby Design, and it's their organic cotton. It is 100% organic cotton, 194 yards in the colorway Blush. And so yes. And I have used their cotton before. I do like their cotton. It is nice and soft. I am not having problems working with it at this gauge on my hands. So that part is nice. And really, I did like the back one night. I did the front another night. I did the sleeve another night. I sewed it all up. And now I just need to do the other pieces. And I just have other things I'm rotating through. So that's that one. The final knitting project that I worked on this week is I finally worked on my Canyonlands. This is a pattern by Nim Teasdale, and I don't remember that the original pattern was in Handspun, but this is a great pattern for Handspun. Let's see if I have, I don't really have a good photo of it. I think I skipped the photo page. Yeah, I did. Basically, it's got like 40 or 50 rows at the beginning that are kind of the setup for it, and then it's just repetition after that. And I will say that I'm failing at this pattern in the sense that I'm not paying attention to what I'm doing and I'm not counting. But basically you get to a certain point and it's like you can just keep doing this forever until you decide you're done or until you run out of yarn. So that's kind of what I'm doing. Basically what it is it's like I want to say it's like a 12 row repeat, and I just keep forgetting at the end of 12 rows to do what I'm supposed to do, to like make the next repeat. And so some sections are 14 rows, some are 12 rows, some are 16 rows, some are 11 or 10 rows. You know, it's always an even number of rows because it's a right side row I have to do something on. Anyway, I am loving this. So this is my Handspun. It is Hello Yarn berries, like berries on a bush, and it was a double dose, and I spun it fractally, which was I spun one braid all the way through, and one braid I broke into tinier chunks. It was kind of a muted rainbow. It was reds and oranges, a little bit of yellow, some blue and teal kind of in there for greens. It was mostly reds and yellows, as you'll see. So up at the top, let me get you and it's garter, so there isn't even really like a great Anyway, so this is what I've done so far. It looks kind of Wonder Woman-ish here, but it actually has got some like great teal in it, and then I'm getting into some sections that are like reds and oranges and browns, and it's super pretty, and it makes kind of a chevron-y thing because there are some things that you do, and it's just going to be a big, deep wrap, and my plan is just to keep going until I finish the wall of Handspun. So I still have a ways to go, but this is not even beginning to be a wrap. So yeah, so I got through a decent amount of it this week. I don't know yardage wise or weight wise what I knit, but I had just gotten through like I think I was in the first little section of blue when I showed you last week, so I've done quite a bit. And so my plan this week is to work on my second Rhinebeck sweater sock, finish that baby sweater, work more on this one, and I haven't decided if I'm going to cast anything else on or work real hard on finishing these. As I said, I do have a Christmas Eve cast on, a pair of socks picked out, and I also have all the yarn that I put aside to knit the is it the Night Shift? I can't remember. It's the Andrea Mowry pattern that's not the small one with the, there's like a cowl and then there's an actual shawl, and it's the big shawl. So that is the next handspun project I'm going to get into. I have another sweater I'd like to do. I have 2 or 3 other shawl projects I'd like to do. So I have plenty that I'm itching to cast on, and I'm just sort of trying to balance what I have cast on with what I'll really work on. And then I'm also doing some sample knitting, which I cannot show you because it's in my contract that I cannot share with you. But I'm doing some sample knitting for which I am being paid, which is really nice. But so that is also taking priority in my knits during the week. And so I am working on that. And I suppose one day I'll be able to show you and put it up in my projects. It's not super exciting stuff. Well, I mean, okay. I'm enjoying knitting it, but I am knitting other people's designs to other people's gauge. I am literally knitting the samples that will go in the photos. The yarn was sent to me and I will not be keeping it. So it's not really a project that I'll be able to show you, although eventually I'll be able to say, hey, I did that one. And I am enjoying that quite a bit. It's just, but it's not like, so it's super exciting on my knitting adventures because it's also not stuff that I'm going to keep. So, yeah. So that is all my knitting. Let me take a sip of tea and we'll go to spins and then we'll finish up. So I feel like I've been spinning a lot. Last week I showed you the 2 braids that I had finished. This week I did another braid. And this is called Dive, and it is from Hello Yarn. It's from her recent club. It is Falkland, and it is in blues and greens and some yellow and some brown. And this came out kind of fun and barber pole-y. I basically spun this as a 2-ply barber pole, and I tore my sides into strips. So I didn't do a fractal or anything like that, but it is just, like I said, blues and browns and yellows and greens, and it is kind of a fun, okay. I don't really think of things that I spin up as boy or girl colorways because I don't really like to think about it like that. But I do spin lots of pink and purple, and I can understand how if you were knitting something for a new baby boy, or if you wanted to knit some socks for your husband, that maybe their heart's desire is not pink and purple. So I do think that this is a good kind of, not neutrals color, but I think that this is a good, not like super girly pink and purple colorway. And I just think it would make a really sweet sweater or some really nice socks. And it's also, I mean, it's for anyone. It can be for girls too. I'm really not trying to gender my skeins. I just, like I said, I realize that some people are not like, I really want pink and purple. Some people want blue and green and brown. So this is blue and green and brown. This will be going up in the shop. I hope I have not offended you in my talk because like I said, I do not really, I don't plan my skeins to be for boys or girls or either, or I just think this would be an adorable sweater for a baby boy is really where I am going with this. Or I could probably put Wes in socks like this because if I put him in pink socks, he probably wouldn't wear them. So that's what I've got here. It has not been washed yet. It is probably between 350 and 400 yards. My guess is it's going to puff up just a little bit. So probably spoil sport weight, and I will be putting that up in the shop this week. So the next thing that I am going to spin is an oldie but a goodie. This is Distant Thunder, which was a Southern Cross Fiber Club from February 2013. And I think I saved it because I really liked the colors and I wanted to be able to do it justice. And it is on Corriedale, which, as I've said before, is my absolute favorite for socks. So I am going to spin this for sock yarn, and then I haven't decided if this is going up into the shop or not. I do love this colorway, but I have several bumps of Corriedale that I have been hoarding, so I may let this one go. It is burgundies and kind of a creamy tan and some green and some purples, and it is called Distant Thunder. It was just a lovely, lovely colorway. It's kind of blowing out the camera's kind of, the light is kind of blowing it out, but it is just absolutely lovely. And I'm going to spin this up for sock yarn this week, and like I said, this one will probably go up in the shop because I do have, I think I have a couple skeins that I've spun up of Corriedale that I haven't knit yet. And I know I have 2 more bumps that are both Corriedale that I have been setting aside for stock yarn. So my plan is maybe to spin this one and put it up in the shop, and then maybe do a couple spins for me so that I can knit some socks in January and February when it is cold and my feet want to be warm. So Distant Thunder, Corriedale from Southern Cross Fiber. So I think that's it for this week. Hopefully next week I'll have some finishes and maybe even a new cast on. I am expecting some yarn this week for a review knit from Fairmount Fibers. It is Monostel Uruguay, and I am really psyched about it. So if it gets here this week, maybe I will cast that on, and then I will have that to show you next week. So I think that's all I've got for this week. I hope you have had a lovely week. We're going to keep our fingers crossed that the gods at YouTube allow this one to upload correctly, and so you'll be seeing me either late Sunday night or sometime on Monday. And I hope you have a lovely week. Until I see you again, I will say happy knitting, happy spinning, happy sipping, and I'll see you next time. Bye.